Now, the reason Ted Cruz went to North Dakota yesterday is because today, party leaders in that state are scheduled to pick 25 of their 28 delegates to the National Convention. North Dakota does not have a primary or a caucus. Cruz's visit is seen as an indication of a possible battle for delegates at the National Republican Convention in Cleveland in July. The growing possibility of a contentious convention has many Republicans here and across the country concerned. Joining us to talk about the GOP race as well as his recent trip to Cuba, Representative Tom Emmer. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Esme. Good to see you.
All right, well, good to see you. Let me ask you, we talked before the show, you are not endorsing any Republican in the presidential race. Why not?
Well, I have not endorsed anyone, and it's mostly because it's a great process. You know, everybody, and I love, you have the job of talking about the contentious convention. I think it's great. On the Republican side, you don't have to, regardless of who you like, who you don't like, the beauty of it is we're having an open and honest discussion, and if we get to a convention in July, Esme, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody talks about it as a brokered convention. I call it a convention. It's good to have a discussion, don't you think, instead of a coronation for once?
Well, privately, I think an awful lot of Republicans that I've talked to are not describing this process as beautiful. They're very concerned that this could have a trickle-down effect, you know, to races such as yours. You're on the ballot as well, to other state races. I mean, are you concerned at all about the tone of the GOP race?
Again, I can control what I do. And so I try to do that every day. I try to represent the people who have hired me to be their voice. Try to make sure that we have that face-to-face, hand-to-hand type of relationship. If I do that, and if other people, regardless of their party affiliation, are doing that at the ground level, they should be just fine. Tone is really personal. I look at all of it coming through the media again. No, I'm not necessarily thrilled with some of the things that have come up, some of the things that are happening, but it's all part of the process. And I know people start out as one candidate. I know this personally. You can start out as one and you can finish as something a lot different. And it's good to let the process play out. Again, I think our politics in this country have become way too pristine, way too made for prime time. These are people involved. You report on this every day. When people are involved, you are always going to be surprised.
Well, you mentioned how candidates can evolve. A lot of people have been surprised by your tenure in Congress. One of the things that took people by surprise was your support for relations with Cuba and trade deals in that country. You were just with the president in Cuba and also with Senator Klobuchar. Tell us about that.
Well, it's interesting because you're right. I'm not taking the establishment point of view on my side of the aisle when it comes to Cuba. But for me, it's a couple of different things. I got involved because people will say, why Minnesota? Well, you'll remember, Esme, when I first got to Congress, one of the committees they put me on was the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House of Representatives. This is not something you work on, right? I hadn't been sitting down with world affairs, maybe the radio for a while, but on a superficial level, maybe since college, right? It's not something you do in the Minnesota State Legislature, not something you do in your everyday life. When I got to Congress, it caused me to start looking at the balance and the geopolitical consequences of our relationships. It brought me to the Western Hemisphere, where I think we spend a lot of time in this country focused on the other side of the Atlantic, focused on the other side of the Pacific, when we really need to focus a lot of energy on our relationships right here in the Western Hemisphere. And two things. One, if you truly are interested in helping the Cuban people, well, then the embargo has done nothing but empower a brutal and oppressive regime that the Castros have run for 55 years. Take away the last excuse the Castros have to tell their people why nothing in Cuba works, right? But then from a national security standpoint for you and me, when people are talking about someday the Iranians or someone could have a ballistic missile that could get to our East Coast, you got North Korea trying to develop the technology to hit our West Coast, allegedly. Think about Cuba. I think it makes sense for us to not only normalize relationships, but start to build a presence and a relationship with our Cuban neighbors so that we don't repeat history and perhaps steer them to someone who may not have the United States' best interest or the Western Hemisphere's best interest in mind.
All right. Well, Congressman Tom Emmer, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Esme.